Okay. Hi, I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is also being recorded, and the current time is 5:25. Okay, and this is appeal number 475. And I'm just going to go through and confirm with you the information here. So this is appeal number 475, 186 Kings Drive.
Correct.
Okay. And the owner is Mary Elizabeth
Vargas.
Sorry, I just told you that. All right, Mary. All right. And the town appraised your property at $1,123,000, and there it says 1 cent or $1 here, 123, right, and $1. And then you're asking for the town to reduce this to $450,000.
Wow.
Okay. Is that correct? Okay. And then, sure, that's every right to do that. Okay. And then, okay, so let me just here. All right. So now I just need you to state your name.
Sure.
And the property address, and that you are the owner of this
Okay.
property.
Okay. Mary Elizabeth Vargas. Sometimes it's written as Mary Beth Vargas. Short on my license, 186 Kings Drive, Southport, Connecticut, 06890.
Okay. All right. And then, Mary, if you would just put your right hand up. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. So what you need to do here is just, you're going to sign here and just print here, please.
Oh, that's your signature. Okay.
Thank you. So, Mary, this is your opportunity now to provide testimony and any evidence as to why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2025 was $450,000 versus the value that the town assigned. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and just please try to be as succinct as possible.
Sure. Ready?
Okay.
So the reason that amount is what I stated is because the developer next door, so there are multiple reasons. So the developer next door who purchased the land next door, I live, by the way, on I-95. Let me just back up. The house is an 1850 house. It was moved from I-95. It was actually on the highway. They plunked it down here. It's got, I had an engineer come out. There are some cracked foundations, things like that. There's a lot going on. The garage has to be knocked down. It's completely not feasible. In fact, there are feral cats that have just now invaded. My neighbors are feeding all these feral cats, and now they've all gone into the garage, and it was already in poor shape, that garage. So it's a very old house, to say the least. More importantly, a developer, Christopher Coco, had purchased the property next door. He told me he would make me miserable till I move off of my property, because he wanted my property too. Putting that aside, that was, quite a topic that year. He said my house is only worth $450,000. I said, well, that's not what was originally listed. He goes, well, that's what it's worth now, because I'm building apartment buildings with affordable housing, so your property is not going to be worth, it may be worth half. And he said, I know, because I'm a developer. So perhaps, take him at his word, although he had, ulterior interest. However, having said that, the property next door is all blighted, and he's taken 1.5 years to do anything with it. It's really a mess. With regard to
do you know what that number of that property is?
Yes, it's the sort of like transposition of mine. So mine's 186, and hers, the elderly lady that lived there, is 168. She let it go pretty bad. So that house has now just been demolished, and people have strewn garbage and everything there. He's knocked down a couple of my little trees that were on my property. without any regard. So unfortunately, the police got involved because the neighbors called and said, it wasn't him, the developer, but apparently whoever was going around doing on that property came over on my property too and started doing a lot. So I had to finally put up a little fence there to kind of demarcate things. But regardless, so my property, unlike the house across the street, which is a mansion, it's considered what they call a smart house. It has all these electronic things in it and, cameras and stuff, which is fine. It's an absolutely beautiful home, way oversized for the little tiny street, minus the cut-through street to go onto the highway from the post road. There's an apartment building that's been erected. I think there's 90 units in it, not even a quarter mile. So it's a busy, nutty street. The house across the street is worth quite a bit because of the size, and it's all new, and it's got a lot of bells and whistles, all of which mine needs replaced windows, leaking roof. I just replaced the roof, but still there are areas which are damaged, and I'm unsure why. Maybe because there's decay somewhere also. Let me shut this off. Feral cats invaded the garage. The garage needs to come down anyway because it's half falling down. It's not going well. And in addition to that, I'm on the highway. I'm really on the highway. So at night, in the summer, if you watch TV, you really can't hear the TV unless the windows are all closed. I don't have central air. I like it because it's a primitive house, but now I don't think it's worth much because I'm not going to have any. There's going to be a big apartment building next door, right there, only a few feet from my property. The house is old and in need of repair. I have somebody coming out to survey why the windows are now leaking and everything else. An invasion of the cat thing. They're literally all over the place now. And it's not a historical house, but the age of the house is pretty bad. At 1850, it's really hard to keep that house going. It's got, the foundation was plunked there from the highway, so it's already moved. It's a tired house.
When was it moved?
I believe it was 1950s when they were building I-95. That's the best of my knowledge there. So I don't want to say, and I know sure the date, but it's in the 1950s is what I was told. And, I had an engineer, surveyor look at it. He goes, wow, this house, I don't know how you keep it going. So when that house got built across the street, for some reason, it seems like my house is maybe seemingly worth more, but it's really not. So I have decay all around that would have to be replaced. I'm wondering if I'm going to stay there because there's, at my age and to be repairing an old house in a neighborhood that's now compromised with a big apartment building like right next door to me.
And how many units did you say
he wanted to put in 80. Okay. But now I believe it's going to be between 8 and 10 units, but they're going to be like 3 stories with a garage underneath. Mm-hmm. He's building that on a 0.7 acre of land. So he's got to go up. So it's going to be a monster there. The Ukrainian club is on my street, which is, a little club at the end, with a little bar at the end of the street. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of, people going back and forth there. There's an office building diagonal to me. So I'm not by any means Southport on the water. I'm literally on the highway, which I actually have liked because I'm a nurse. If I have to go to New Haven, I see if the traffic's going that way, how bad it is, and I know which road to take. So for me, it's been, because of the location, I couldn't get on the highway fast. Mm-hmm. So the cut-through traffic, there's a high amount of traffic going back and forth on that street. I have Japanese knotweed in the back that has taken over the portion. I've tried not getting it down. It's costly. The highway put that there. The state put it there many, years ago from the state. I had the transportation division look at it. they promised me they'd spray it, but now they lost funding, so they're not gonna be able to do it. I have to take care of that if I wanna figure that out. I had somebody come out and survey it, and he said, well, if you lived in the UK, you wouldn't be able to sell this property until you took care of that Japanese knotweed. So it's quite large, you know, it goes up to, you know, when it's full growing, which it will be, again, in spring, summer, fall, it goes up, it's like the size of a, I don't want to say a building, I don't know how many feet, maybe 30 feet, it goes pretty high, it's bad. So now it's coming in more. I had a little garden, it's killed everything. So trees, little tree, shrubs, that's all fun. Next door, they've thrown some garbage and stuff. They have 3 massive dumpsters butting against my little fence that I put in so that the developer knows, you know, be careful. He actually fell in the yard, his yard, and I went over to help him.
Pardon me.
I went over to help him, and he was surprised. I said, after all, I'm a nurse, so whatever, I'm going to help you. But anyway, so 3 dumpsters are there. So I imagine they'll eventually be gone, but then their place will be a building.
Right.
So building there, office building there, and then I have the highway right in the back of the Japanese knotweed, and the mansion across the street, which I don't know what that's even doing there. Doesn't fit in the neighborhood, but it's there. So he told me that's what it's worth. He told me to move to Putnam Park in Greenwich because those are $450,000 exactly, and I could just trade and live over in that co-op. So I said, why do you know about that? He said, because I did, because you live in Greenwich. She said, yeah. So he said, well, you know, he didn't even know how much yardage I had, you know, how much I had. So I told him, but I said, there's a lot of there's rock formation on either side, so you can't build, you know, big rock. Which I liked, but now I don't like it because, you know, the garage is rotted and needs to be demoed. You know, demolition, I've been told. I had a couple estimates, as well as high construction and apartment building. The Ukrainian club did and the office building, and that's where I am. But I think because of the mansion across the street, my property has somehow escalated. And the reason I'm asking for lower, realtors looked at my house and they said, you live on the highway. The developer said, you're a highway person. I said, well, I try to consider myself as a medical professional, not a highway person.
Right.
You sort of like, you know, you people live on the highway. I would say you're building on the highway. So, and the apartment complex that just got erected over by I-95, I don't know if you know the area. Southport Condominiums is on my side of the street. Those are all about going around 400 to 500,000, the condominiums. I think they're a couple bedrooms each. They're old condominiums. That's on the left. And then on the right is that other construction on a very small plot of land. 90 is there, from what I verified it a few times. So that's the reason to pay higher taxes on a really fatigued house with problems, and problems all around now, I think is unfair.
Okay. All right. All right, so you gave me a lot of information here. Anything else that you want to provide? No? Okay, so let me just tell you about the process.
So I did send over to Tyler Technology all the comparison reports of houses that are my type of house.
Okay.
I don't know if they sent those over to you. Do you want
I'm not seeing it here, but
There's a lot. I sent a packet.
You did? Okay, so I'm going to put a note here that there's a packet.
From Tyler Technology. And if you want, I'll recopy them and send them to you if you want me to.
Well, let me contact. I'll reach out to the assessor's office and ask them to follow up on this as well.
The realtor has told me the property should be, there's something indicating, I was told that it should be like not a class, it should be a 50 class or something where it's drastically reduced because it's literally the highway situation and the developer.
And who is that you're talking to?
Her name is Alice DeCenzo. She's with a realtor, I think the name of the realtor that she's with in Fairfield. Is it Berkshire Hathaway, perhaps? I don't want to misspoke. She's with one of the local realtors. She's been a realtor a long time in Fairfield.
Okay.
But there's some number that is important for if you live in one area versus another area. And the mansion across the street is not on the highway. I'm on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And houses similar are much lower. But it looks like I'm like the mansion across the street. That's a brand new big building.
Yeah. When you gave Tyler that packet,
Yeah.
was that like an informal, you went to the informal hearing? Or you just contacted them and sent?
I sent it in and I had a discussion, I believe, on the phone.
On the phone, okay, yeah.
And then he said, well, you might, qualify for an appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent all that to them via email.
Sure. All right. So I'll follow up on this. All right. So.
I mean, I did it as I was supposed to.
Okay. All right.
And, I think, so I got this sent back. So I think I've never been through them. I know a lot of medical knowledge, but not. So I believe that they might have thought, well, we'll come down a little bit, and then I don't know what happened.
So, yeah, so this was what it was originally assessed at. This is a 70%, value. That's what you're taxed on, that amount. This is after the informal. They reduced your,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yep. They didn't know the area, though. I asked them.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were from out of state.
Okay.
So he didn't know anything about highways.
Sure.
He goes, I don't even know where I-95 is. So I thought, well, it's pretty busy. So when there was an explosion out there, we all had to evacuate our houses. So anything crazy going on the highway,
Right.
that was a period of time back. But any crash, when a car blew up, I actually ran out there to help the victims, thinking that I could do something. But anyway, so it is not a great place to be.
All right, let me just tell you what the next steps are here.
Yeah.
I'll be presenting your petition to a majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration and vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days of that being made. If your appeal was denied, you can come back next year, all right? If you're granted a reduction of any amount, then you would not be able to come back until the next revaluation in 5 years, all right? And then you always have the right to take this to an appeal to court, to take your appeal to court, and then instructions on how to do that would be in your decision letter,
All right.
okay? So, I will just, for full disclosure, we have 992 appeals. So we're going to be doing this into May. I expect to be doing this into May.
That's about how many patients I see a month.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just, I can't say, we're going to get to it next week, but you'll know, right? So once we do hear it, though, there'll be 7 days. So, we're going to try to get through as many as we can, but right now we're just doing hearings.
Okay.
So we're not even deliberating on this.
Okay. May I ask you, during the appeal process, if they find in my favor, is that like incrementally a certain amount? I mean, they'll decide the amount? Or?
Yeah. I mean, whatever decision is made, then it will be, that will be happen for your next year.
Okay.
Like, it'll happen right away, yeah.
And then you can't do anything for 5 years, but say they only give you, say, $5 off or something, then what?
Right, well,
for 5 years?
yeah, well, I mean, I guess technically that's true,
wondering.
but that's not, that's not how they would do it, so, yeah. All right.
Both houses on either side used to have chickens, both their
Yeah.
grandfather did, so it's like a lovely neighborhood, but now it's pretty different.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's too bad too about the, so so I just, if you don't have any more questions,
No.
going to conclude the hearing, okay?
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks so much
What's
for
your
coming
first
in.
name?
Peter.
Peter.
Okay. Script here. So, my name is Peter Rupert. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal tonight. Your hearing is being recorded, and the current time is 5:49 p.m. Okay. This is appeal number 66. I'm going to go through your information, just confirm with me, okay? So this is appeal number 66. It is for 805 Kings Highway.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? All right, and I'm with, the owner is Mr. Somesh Kashik and Nehru Kashik?
Correct.
Okay. The town has a value, appraised value of $454,400, and you're asking that that be reduced to $400,000. Is that correct?
I'm asking if it to reduce by actually after slightly less than that.
Okay, sure.
362.
362?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll update this, 362. Okay. All right, and then okay, so I have here as the owner Samesh Kashik, and then I have Sagar, Sagar, and Kashik. Is that
That's me.
That's you? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
I
Okay.
submitted
All right, look, I got a couple other things before we get actually started here, okay? So, Mr. Kashik, if you would do me a favor, just state your name, that you are the owner of 805 Kings Highway, and so just do that, and then I'm gonna swear you in, okay?
Okay, so my name is Sagar Kaushik. I'm representing the owners.
Oh, okay, wait a second then. If you're representing, you need to have a affidavit.
Yes.
You do, okay.
I submitted it, but I have a copy of it.
Okay. Okay, all right, great, all right, thanks so much. No. All right, so, all right, so you are representative, okay?
I didn't want to start my line.
That's okay, yeah. So, okay, so, all right, and just do me a favor here. So you said that you are representing the owners, all right, and then if you would do me a favor, actually raise your right hand. Are you an attorney?
No.
No, okay, so raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, so if you would do me a favor and just sign here and just print here, please. Thank you. All right, Mr. Kashik, this is your opportunity now to provide testimony and any evidence that you have as to why you believe the market value of 805 Kings Highway on October 1st, 2025 was $362,000. Okay, and just remember that market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date, and just please try to be as succinct as you can. All right?
Okay.
Thanks.
So here's also a copy of basically what I'm about to say,
Okay.
along with the trust and reference, and then the property that I'm, like the subject property, which is my parents, and then the 2 references that I'm using kind of comparables.
Okay, so these are not in the file right now? These have not been submitted previously?
These have not been submitted.
Okay, so I'll add them to the file. Yep, all right, thank you.
So the reasoning for my appeal, for our appeal is we're looking at two like properties, 805 and 797 Kings Highway East. And even though 797 it's renovated, it's newer, it has a larger square foot for the land size. It's been gutted and renovated inside and out. It has a lower appraised value. So what I'm looking at currently is just the lot size and the appraised value for the lot. It has a lower appraised value overall, but if you just compare lot sizes for a second, one is, our lot is 5,100 square feet and the other one is 8,400 square feet. The appraised value for the lot per square foot is $32 for their lot and $52 for ours. Neither of these are corner lots, and neither of them basically.
How much did you say yours was?
It is $32 $32.24 per square foot.
For the comparable one, that's the 797, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one is, you said yours is
5206.
Okay.
Yes. So, and that's just for the price of the land. They're both right next to each other. They're both, neither are a corner lot or close to it. They're basically both one or two built houses away from the corner lot. So they're both in the middle. They both look similar. The only difference is the other lot has more parking spaces, has a gazebo, is newer.
Okay.
So, I just kind of fail to understand why that difference is there. And then even if we look at the building, basically per square foot, ours is $82 per square foot, and theirs is $39. I do understand that the building sizes are different. Theirs is roughly 1,400 square feet, and ours is 2,000 square feet. Which is why I'm comparing the per square foot price. But even if you look at just the land size, lot specifically price per square foot, that itself is a difference of over $100,000 in the land. So there's not that many mixed-use properties in Fairfield where it's a business and the top floor is residential. So this is the best comparable that I found. It's literally right next door, and it's the same thing: business on the first floor and a residence on the top. I have another comparable too, which is 831 Blackhawk Turnpike. That it's not the best, so it is much bigger than both of the other properties. Lot size wise, this one is, and also square footage of the building. But even if you were to look at this, for 832, the price per square foot is $29.63. Versus again, for ours, it is $52.06. So this would be on the next page for 797. So even here, we have the same discrepancy where the lot size, the price per square foot for our lot is basically twice. Again, this one sold in February of 2021, but in my opinion, 797 is the best comparable. That one sold in October of 22. It's literally right next door. It is the same basically structure where they're both mixed-use buildings. And that is, I can go on, but I'm pretty sure after I'm just repeating myself.
Thanks for, this is nice and clear. All right.
So.
And when did your parents purchase this?
2006.
2006.
So with building prices, like with the price per square foot for the building, that drastically varies as well. I mean, between 797 is $39 a square foot, and ours is 82. So ours is literally double. Theirs is literally brand new. But that I can understand an argument of, they're building, they're both different, they're not apples to apples. Even though the use is the same, commercial and residential, and I mean, how much can you change the inside material that you're using. Ours has not been renovated recently. But when it comes to the land price, I mean, I don't see how that's drastically different. And like, if one was next to the beach and one was on Kings Highway, I would understand a little bit in my
Sure, right.
But they're both, they have the same view.
Okay. All right, well, thank you again, clear stuff, and then these are the cards for this, 331, 797, okay. All right.
And just to,
Sure, yeah.
just clear why I had, like, 392 isn't basically a random number. So when I looked at the land rate at 797 and basically applied that to 805, it came up with the appraised value being 265,000. And then when I did the same thing with 831, it came up to be 382,000.
Okay.
So even though the best comparable is 797, in my opinion, I do not honestly think it should be 265. I just think that 797 is definitely too low.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, I can ask the same thing just because that's already done. But I don't think it's fair, so that's why I just took an average of both.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I think it requires both to be assessed uniformly. So,
Sure.
as this is a happy medium, I believe.
Okay, so let me just explain then the process here. I'll present your petition to a majority of our board, and we'll deliberate and come to a decision and vote on it. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days. If your appeal is denied, you can come back again and appeal next year.
Okay.
If you are granted a reduction of any amount, then you would not be able to come back until the next reevaluation in 5 years. All right? And you can always decide if you want to, you can take it to court and appeal there. And there will be instructions on how to do that if you so choose. All right? I'll just let you know we have 992 appeals this year, so we so I can't tell you when we're going to get to your appeal, because we're going to actually be doing this in May. All right, so we've had to ask for an extension of time because we anticipate going that long. So we might get to yours much sooner, and then you would know it at that point, within 7 days. But I just can't tell anyone like, oh, we're going to get to it in 2 weeks, next 2 weeks.
That's completely understandable.
All right. So, all right. All right. Well, thanks for coming in and presenting, and enjoy the nice weather out there, right?
Yeah, it's much better than it was before.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question as well?
Sure. Yeah.
So I know I have basically given my opinion on a value. So could you also basically accept that, or you can pick another number as well?
Well, that's true, yes.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that 362. It can be, could actually be even, more, that we provided. There have been cases where that's taken place. I mean, usually we go with someone's, value because they've provided their evidence for that. But, sometimes it's in between there as well.
Understood.
So, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
53. Well, the 1495 Fairfield Beach Road. All right, so just give me a moment here. Okay. Welcome, I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is being recorded, and the current time is 6:24. Okay. I'm just going to go through and just read off some information here and just confirm that this is the same property that we're talking about. So this is appeal number 353. It would be on the last page.
Correct.
Yep, okay. 1495 Fairfield Beach Road.
Correct.
Michael Fazio is the owner.
Yes.
Okay. The town has appraised your property at $3,072,574, and you are asking that to be reduced to $2,300,000.
Correct.
All right, okay. And all right, so if you would just state for the record that your name, the property number, and that you are the owner.
My name is Michael Fazio. Property is located at 1495 Fairfield Beach Road in Fairfield, and I am the owner of the property.
All right, so if you would just sign here and just print underneath, please. And, all right. Why don't we just do, why don't we do both of the properties, right? So the 352, so get that out of the way. So again, you can state, so then I actually have to swear you in. So I didn't swear you in, so. Okay, so we're also going to do the confirmation of the property. All right, so just state that this is 1495 Fairfield Beach Road is you're the owner of that as well.
Well, no, this is 4480 Black Rock Turnpike.
Oh.
The other one. There's two properties.
Oh, no, okay, so we got the wrong one there then.
So 352 is 4480.
What did I say?
We already did 353.
Oh, we did 353. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right, sorry. Thank you. All right, sorry. So this is Michael Fazio is the owner of 4480 Black Rock Turnpike, 352. So we're just signing.
Right, I'm a member of the LLC of 4480 Black Rock Turnpike LLC.
Okay. All right, so I do need to just, do you solemnly swear, put your right hand up, please. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal for number 352 and for number 353, now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so this is your opportunity to provide testimony and evidence for why you think the value, your requested value of $2,300,000 is the actual value, not the one assigned by the town. Market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date. Please try to be as succinct as possible.
Sure.
All right.
So my house is located at 1495 Fairfield Beach Road. It's a colonial house containing 3,077 square feet. It was built in 1901. And when I look at what happened, I went up 87%, which is quite a bit more than all the other people on Fairfield Beach Road. And they brought me in at $1,000 a square foot, $999 a square foot. What I think is happening here is they changed the style of my house from a colonial to this new colonial expanded, which I don't know what a colonial expanded is. They also changed my grade to a B+. They also changed my condition to a very good.
All right, let me just, so grade to B+ and condition.
To a very good.
Okay.
And on top of that, they left the remodel code from last time on, because I remodeled in between revals.
Mm-hmm.
They left the remodel code on. It's not on the card, but I spoke with Ross, and he told me that that code is still on there.
Okay.
So, if you look at my neighbor, the house directly next door to me, which is John Vasquez's house. It's the best house on the street.
Okay, what's the number?
1505.
1505.
His house is the best house in the street. It was built 4 years ago by Tom Mason. His house is at $936 a square foot, which is less than mine, and it's brand new FEMA compliant construction. It's top of the line, it's got elevator, it's got every bell and whistle you can imagine. My house is a non-FEMA compliant house. If anyone was to buy my house, they would demolish the house. And this is the trend on Fairfield Beach Road for non-FEMA compliant homes. Unless they're being rented to college students, then they'll put them in there. But if somebody was buying my property, they would knock it down because it's not FEMA compliant. You're, due to the flood, being in the flood zone, you can't really do much for any more remodeling. You can't add to it. It's very restrictive, and every day you pray you don't get a hurricane. You know, I moved in years ago. I only paid $1.3 million for the house. I did renovations. All the renovations were permitted and accounted for between revaluation. From the last revaluation to this revaluation loss, I think Ken went through the house a couple times and looked at everything. So all that was accounted up to. On the other side of me is Arlene Russo's house. Her house.
What number is that?
That is 1481. Her house was built in 1965. Mine's built in 1901. Her house is bigger than mine. It's 4,249 square feet. So it's, you know, almost, it's over 1,000 square feet bigger than my house. She's remodeled her house. You know, we're neighbors, so I've been there many times. They left the colonial style on hers. They left, you know, all the other things. They took it off. Her house is being valued at $635 a square foot, and it only went up 42%. If you go up and down the entire street, and I'll bring out the sales too. Next door to that is her brother, Dr. Russo. He's got a massive house, massive properties, not comparable at all, but he's at $541 a square foot.
Okay, so what number is that though?
He's at 1475.
1475.
His house is fabulous. You know,
And would you say it was for 540?
541. He's non-FEMA compliant. Arlene's house is non-FEMA compliant. They're at 635. The FEMA compliant one at 1505, brand new construction is at 936. That's FEMA compliant. I'm non-FEMA compliant. I'm higher than them all per square foot. Doesn't make sense. Even going down the street more at 1453, this house is new construction or newer construction. It was built in the 2000s, I think 2008. It's at 745 a square foot. It only went up 36%. 1445 Fairfield Beach Road, brand new, not brand new, but it was built in 2016. This is Bodean's old house, Lisa Buckwell's house. This only went up 35%, new construction within the last 10 years. That's FEMA compliant. And then there's one very similar, again, to mine, at 1473 Fairfield Beach Road, non-FEMA compliant house, kind of similar square footage, it's a little 200 square feet bigger than mine. It actually kind of looks the same in the front. It's got the, I did the same roof on mine. That's where I got the idea for my house. They went up 40% and they're only at 708. So if you look at, let's say you take 635, 708, let's call it even 650 a square foot times 3077. That's $2 million. It's only worth. I'm saying, okay, mine's maybe a little nicer. I'll give you 2-3 on it. But for $3 million, $1,000 a square foot, is brand new construction is valued less than mine. I have all the sales, you have all the sales. Probably the highest sale, unless it's brand new construction down at the Point, was at, where is it, 14. So here's non-FEMA compliant house.
Which one, what's that number?
This is 971, non-FEMA compliant house, sold for 2.5 with across the street. I don't have across the street. The new trend with across the street, now they're doing those garages with their apartments on the second floor. They're building them all over the place down there. I don't have across the street.
And how much did you say that one was?
It sold for $2,550,000.
Okay.
So there's a ceiling that somebody will pay for a non-FEMA compliant house, because you're gonna knock it down at some point, or you're gonna put college kids in it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's living in a buying a non-FEMA compliant house for $3 million and living in it.
Right.
Because at any time you could have storm come and take it away. For me, it's worth it because I paid $1.3 million for my house. I can knock down that house and then build a FEMA compliant house, so I'm into it still for $1.3 million. But nobody's paying $3 million knocking down a house, and then you have to build something on top. Now you're at $6 million. Nothing sells on the beach area for that. So it doesn't make sense what happened here. Here's another one that sold $1,928,000. This had a across the street.
What number?
1135, 1141. This one also sold $2,250,000. So everything's selling for, 2.5 or less. There was one sale that sold for 3.2. It was a FEMA compliant house with an across the street with an apartment. And the address of that is, and I'll leave all this stuff for you so you have it. $1,255. The FEMA compliant house built in 2005, and it has across the street with a garage and an apartment. If you look at the photo of the house, you can see it's raised.
Mm-hmm.
It's got garages underneath. It's a raised house. Here's pictures. I even put the listing. You can see it's all nice inside. I attached everything. And the other interesting thing you can see is what they did is when they're doing the reval, they chased all the sales that happened on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this one sells for $3,230,000. Magically, it comes in for $3,167,000, and they change, some of the stuff in it from field card to field card, from glass field card to this field card. Built in 2005. They put a garage. They didn't even put the apartment on this one, so they're not even charging them for the apartment upstairs on this property. Because I'm looking at the field card, they just have it as a garage. So really, that's my feeling on this.
Okay.
And my background's as an appraiser, so. I don't know if you have any other questions.
Okay. No, I don't. I mean, yeah.
It's just my, I think at 2.3, I'm at somebody would buy my house and either live in it, take the chance for a while until a storm come, or at some point they would knock that down. At 2.3, you build the house for $1.5 million, you're into it for 3.7. That's kind of the area that brand new construction on the beach is happening. What's really funny is, if you look at this property here, brand new construction just was built last year. 1,000 square foot bigger than mine.
What number is that?
2268. I have the field card here. Is less money than my house per square foot. Here it is. Brand new construction, just built, 2025. Last year, $734 a square foot for brand new construction. And look at the house. Brand new. So there's no rhyme or reason on what's happening here. And this house is 3,500 square feet. They have an improvement value of $1.1 million on it, a much bigger house, and then my house is built 125 years ago, and they have an improvement value of $1,523,000. So, like, I don't know what happened. Kind of speculate what happened, but.
Okay. Well, you give plenty of comps to take a look at.
Yeah.
So, appreciate that.
That's that one.
All right, let me take that. All right, so, you know, the process that,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a petition, you know, we'll, I'll present this to our board and, vote on that, okay? So, you'll be notified by mail. So this will conclude your hearing, all right? So, I'm just gonna stop this so I can have a break in the tape, so. All right, so, again, this is Peter Rupert. This is the March 4th evening hearings for the Board of Assessment Appeals. Hearing appeal number 352, and the start time is 6:43. Okay. So, Mr. Fazio has already been sworn in. In the previous session, he had another appeal, so we swore him in for both of those, this one and that one, but let me just go through to confirm the information. Okay, so this is appeal number 352, 4480 Black Rock Turnpike. The owner is 4480 Black Rock LLC. The town valued this piece of property at $4,256,300, and you're asking it to be reduced to $125,000. All right. Okay, and let's see here. All right. So, Mr. Fazio, this is your opportunity to provide testimony or evidence to your requested value. Okay.
So 4480 Black Rock Turnpike is a 4.72 acre residential piece of property in AAA zone. I am in the process of going through the planning and zoning to get a apartment unit complex approved on the site, but as of October 1st, I don't have the approvals. We're looking to approve it for 96 units. I'm in the middle of the process now. As we sit here today, I still do not have my approvals. I had a meeting with somebody from the revaluation company. I explained to them, and I sent them a letter over from Matt Decker from the zoning department to say that the only legal thing as of October 1st is I could build a single-family dwelling on this piece of property, and I'll supply you with that email. On January 8th, I sent an email to Matt Becker and said, can you please indicate the only legal use by Fairfield zoning regulations for the property that I own at 4480 Black Rock Turnpike as of October 1st, 2025 is, and he wrote back the next day, good morning, Michael, 4480 Black Rock Turnpike is located in a residential AAA zone. This zone permitted as stated under section 2 and 3 of the Fairfield zoning regulations, single-family dwelling with accessory structures to a primary dwelling. Please let me know if I can know if you need anything else. I gave this information to the Reval company, and they did nothing with it. I also have a letter, an email chain from the town attorney, Philip Pires, from Coleman Wolf, to my attorney saying, on February 14th, Tim Hollister, who's my attorney, is writing to Phil Pires, saying Phil and Wilson has at long last here the final stipulation for 4480 Black Rock Turnpike approved by the neighbors. So the ball is in your court to take this to TPZC. You know what to do, but let me know if you have any questions. Please keep Mike Fazio and me in the loop. So as of February 13th, 2026, we didn't have the approvals yet because they still got to go back to TPZ. Phil Pires wrote back Tim Hollister and myself, thanks Tim, I will talk to staff and let you know. So I wrote an email to Ross saying that I still don't have any of the approvals as of February 13th when I wrote them. It was still, and I'm going, hoping with my fingers crossed to go back to TPZ sometime this spring. I don't have a date yet. I don't have a sign off by everybody in the town yet. So as of October 1st, I can't build anything there except the house. And it's cost prohibitive to build a house because I brought the survey, which I'll leave with you. And I don't know if you're familiar with the property, but I'll show you a photo on the field card. It's a mountain. Goes up. And here's the topos. I'm probably familiar how to read it, but it's a 70-foot, goes from 150 to 220 up here. This is a 70-foot rise mountain from the street up. It's all wetlands down on the bottom. Even if this was all approved, there's $2 million worth of site work that's needed prior to even being able to build anything on it. So, right, I paid $114,000 for this piece of property back in 2018. I put $125 because, pardon me, nobody would put a house there. It's cost prohibitive. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe a lot in that area is worth $450, but by the time you do the excavation, it's worth, nobody would do it. That's why it's just a thing.
Well, so where were you planning? Because you said you were looking to put 96 units on there. So where would that? So how would that?
Once it's all approved,
yeah,
then there's value. The value of the property, the town could increase it once the approvals are put in place. So theoretically, if they put all the approvals in place before October 1st of 2026,
right,
then they could say, okay, it's approved for a 96-unit apartment complex.
Right.
The land is now worth more.
Right. Actually, my question really is more about, like, you know, you're telling me because it's, mountainous, it's got wetlands. So where was, I'm trying to understand where the...
So there's an entire set of plans that is in the process of being approved.
Okay.
But it's going to require a lot of earthwork.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say once all the approvals are in place, then we could revisit what the value is as an apartment building site. But they valued it as an apartment building site when it didn't have all the approvals. So I'm paying for something I don't have.
Sure. Okay.
And that's my hardship.
Okay. Okay.
And I included all the letters from, the town attorney to me, that saying, and from the zoning department saying that I don't, as of October 1st, I don't have the approvals, and the town attorney, as of February of this year, saying he still has to go back to planning and zoning to finalize all the approvals. So it's evident in the paperwork from the town saying, as of October 1st, there's no approvals. How do you charge me for something? That's like saying there's a piece of land that's vacant. Let's charge the guy for a house and he has no house on it.
Right, right. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Okay, so let me just go through this one more time here. I'll be presenting your petition to a majority of our board at a deliberation session for consideration vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If it's granted a reduction, you can't appeal again until the next reevaluation in 4 years. If you don't agree, now obviously if you go forward and build, obviously that could be reevaluated, right? So if you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next step and appeal in court, all right? Instructions on how to appeal will be in your decision letter, all right?
When are they voting?
Well,
you vote every night on these, or you wait till the end?
No, you know what, so we have 992 appeals, and, yeah, and so we are literally probably going into May to get this complete, so,
I did the reval in Bridgeport, they have 40,000 parcels, we only have 400 and something.
Yeah, 400, yeah.
And they went up, the town, the entire city went up on an average of 80%.
Oh,
So they really went up a lot, and we still only had 500 appeals.
all right, let me, I'm just gonna end this, okay? Okay. Welcome, I'm Peter Rupert. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is also being recorded. The current time is, let's see, 7:08 p.m. on March 4th, 2026. All right, so I'm just going to read through some of the information about your appeal. Just confirm it for me. All right, this is appeal number 481. Right, am I correct? Yep.
I don't know the number.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I got you.
I mean, I'll
Yep.
just tell you, the 146 Somerset Avenue?
Yep,
Okay,
correct.
there you go, that's probably better, right? All right, so the owners of this property, I have Peter Tallman and Sandra Tallman.
Yeah, Sandra Tallman.
Okay, the town has appraised this property at $1,917,852, and you're asking the town to reduce this to $1,825,000.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So. Okay, and all right. And are you Peter? You're Peter. Okay.
I did the appraisal for
You
him.
did the appraisal. Okay. So and then what's your name, please?
Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith. Jeff Smith. All right. And you're the appraiser?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're both going to be speaking, right? So I need to just have Mr. Tallman.
Jeff will start
Just,
first.
okay, but I'm just going to have you just state that you are the owner of 146 Somerset Avenue.
Peter Tallman, owner of 146 Somerset Ave.
Okay, and then if you would both raise your right hands, all right? Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, so what I need you to do, both do, is just sign and then print, sign, print. Okay? Here, why don't you go first, please?
Sure.
Sign, print. Okay, so, this, Mr. Tallman is gonna be your, and Mr. Smith, this is gonna be your opportunity to, present any testimony or evidence that you believe, shows that the market value of your home on October 1st, 2025 was $1,825,000, not the value assigned by the town, and market value is what your home most likely would have sold for on that date.
Correct.
So,
Okay. Here is a copy of the appraisal that I did for the
Okay.
Tallmans
all right.
for your records.
That was done, 10-1, or 10-125? Okay, all right,
You ready?
sure.
Okay. The house in question at 146 Somerset Ave is a colonial-style dwelling that was built in 1941. It has .34 acres with a porch, a balcony, a pool, and it does have frontage on the Mill River. It was found to be in overall good condition. And I chose 5 comparables. The first one being 172 Sycamore Lane, which closed for $1,875,000 on 10/29/25. I realized that it closed after the effective date of the appraisal, however, it was under contract prior. And it similar vintage, similar size lot, .34 acres, similar vintage, 1937, slightly smaller, does not have frontage on the river, and I adjusted it 2% for lack of a water frontage. It does have a pool similar to the Tallman house, and it had an adjusted value of $1,944,500. The second comp that I chose was 109 South Street, which sold for $1,008,000 on May 30th of 25. Similar size lot, lacked frontage on the river and was adjusted 2%. Similar vintage home built in 1939, and it was slightly larger, and it had a pool as well, and it had an adjusted value of $1,836,035. The third comp that I chose was 419 Springer Road, sold for $1,630,000 on December 6th of 24. It had frontage on Lake Hills, so I chose it because it's similar water. Similar square footage, 3,085, and it lacked a pool, and I adjusted $30,000 for the lack of a pool. It had an adjusted value of $1,679,000. Sorry, go ahead. $495. The fourth comp that I chose was 85 Evelyn Street. It sold for $1,715,600. It was located less than a mile from the subject. Slightly larger lot, lacked a view of the water, was adjusted 2%. Similar square footage, and it had a pool. And it had an adjusted value of $1,748,185. And the fifth comp that I chose was 127 College Park Drive, sold for $1,008,000 in August of 25. It lacked a view of the water. Similar conditions, slightly smaller, and lacked a pool. It had an adjusted value of $1,919,535. And then arriving at the value conclusion, I correlated to the approximate midpoint of the range of the 5 comparables adjusted value to arrive at my value conclusion of $1,825,000.
Okay.
Pete, you want to present what you have?
Peter, one thing I was looking at, there's a strip of 11 houses along Somerset Avenue
Mhm.
that are on the water.
Mhm.
So if you took my house out and just focused on the 10 remaining houses that are on the water, their average increase, for the assessment was 89%, close to 90%. Mine was 120%, 119 to be exact. It was easily the highest on the street. And as my wife said, the only thing we did was the house got 5 years older. It's got 2 leaks. It had 3. I resolved 1. I've had 2 ongoing, one in the basement, one in the second floor bathroom. I've had brothers who were builders. I've had them. I've had workers come over and look, and we still don't know where they are. So that's going to come back and bite me in the butt, I think, when it's time to sell. So, and I do know that these 2 houses, well, I haven't done anything to my house in over 5 years, probably more like 10. A couple of houses had fairly extensive work done on them, and their increase is still quite a bit less than mine. So, you know, I'm not looking to be the lowest. I'm not even looking to be in the middle, but just a little comfort.
You want to provide him with this?
Yeah, they
For their record?
should have that, but I think it's important.
It's summary page of
Okay, yeah, be right straight to before we move over. All right, so nothing, you're saying for probably more than 5 years, no improvements, all right? And the leaks you're saying that it's a leak in the...
One in the basement.
In one in the basement?
There were 2 in the basement. I
Okay.
resolved one, the other
Okay.
one,
All right.
who knows? And the second one, in the second floor bathroom, right now, I just have a guy come and repaint it every 2
Yeah.
years.
Oh, my gosh.
Just try to use the marine paint and all that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's forestalling the inevitable.
All right.
But like you said, nothing has been, you know, the last serious work that was done to the house was 2008,
Mhm.
based on permits here. So that's 3 revals ago.
Mhm.
So nothing significant since then, except for the pool. I'm just talking about the structure itself.
Mhm. Okay. And when was the pool?
Do you have it, Rich? Yeah.
2010, so that's still
That's so long.
3 revals ago too.
Sure, yeah. All right. Okay, anything else you wanted to?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, okay, so let me just explain the process, I'm sure you know, but
Mhm.
I'll present your petition to a majority of the board as deliberation session and a vote. You'll be notified by mail of our decision within 7 days. And then if your appeal is denied, you can come back again next year. If we grant some form of relief, then you would not be able to come back until the next reval. And of course, you can always appeal to court if you're not unhappy with our decision. Instructions on how to do that would be included in your decision letter. We do have 992 appeals.
Right.
And so I can't tell you when, promise you
Just
when
out
we're
of
gonna get
curiosity,
to.
what was it the last time, do you know?
In 5 years ago,
Yeah.
we were just over 600.
So
And
50% more.
that took us to the end of April.
Right.
And we've already petitioned for an extension into
Right.
May. So I
Okay.
don't, I'm just giving you the heads up.
No
like,
problem.
Don't expect it.
Yep, no sweat.
Right.
Understood.
It doesn't mean that we're trying to get all the hearings completed and
Right.
then just start to, schedule time. Unfortunately, we're doing all these hearings. We have 5 elected members. We added 4 temporary members, and we can all do these hearings separately. So you
Right.
can do a lot,
Right.
but when we go to vote, we have to have a quorum of at least 5.
Right.
So, it just takes time, so.
Of the
anyway.
992, how much is residential versus commercial, or is that just residential?
No, that's all, but it's mostly, actually, there were like 81, like, commercials that were over
900.
$1 million, so like down, yeah, like about 900, yeah. I mean, there's some personal properties in there as well. So,
Okay.
but not, the bulk is residential, yes.
Okay.
So, all right, well, thank you for coming in, appreciate your
Yeah,
time, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
all
you.
right.
Good evening.